guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Cindy, for those of you who don't know me. And today I am going to be doing like a story time, kind of like day in the life of like when you're going to for an antenatal appointment in the public health system here in South Africa. That's a mouthful, right? But yeah, so anyway, as you all know, I'm pregnant in my third trimester, and I've been sharing like my journey, but it's been more my personal experience. And yeah, I just wanted to make it relevant to you guys. So maybe you're a new mom, first time pregnant here in South Africa, or maybe you live halfway across the world and you're just curious to learn like how do other people do it. Like, I know I've been watching a lot of videos like pack my hospital bag, pregnancy related videos, and it's just been so enlightening to know how other people do it. Some things are not relevant to where I am and whatnot, but other things are actually quite helpful. So yeah, so here's me trying to, yeah, hopefully help someone. And maybe if you want to give me some advice, you're free to do that in the comment section below. So it's actually, I actually wrote down some points, so if you see me like glancing down, it's just yeah, I'm just looking at my points so that I stay on point. So first things first is that number one, if you don't know, I actually stay in South Africa, in Cape Town, right? So obviously I'm in the Western Cape, and within South Africa there are different provinces, and they run their their systems differently. So it might be a little bit different if you go to another province. Let's say you go to the Northern Cape, or you go to Gauteng, right? But I think it's more or less the same. Okay, so anyway, so first things first is that if you have not visited that particular facility, right, then you need to carry your identification, right? So your ID, your passport, or whatever it is that you're using. And then and you need to be prepared to give your address. You need to know like an address whereby, I think it's the postal address they're more concerned about, the physical and the postal address, because I think the postal address is when they will send like the bills, like for when they charge you. And the physical address is like they want to make sure they usually want to cater to a certain area. So if you stay like in Cape Town, in a particular part of Cape Town, they'll refer you to that particular health facility, right? So it's not really a law, but it's like an unwritten law. So if you're coming from one area to another, you might encounter problems. So that's why they would say, no, we want you to know where you stay and so forth. And then also be prepared to answer income related questions. They'll ask you if you're working, how much. If you're not working, do you have a partner, how much they're earning. And I think this is so that they can also structure the bills. So I haven't done any research. I'm just talking from my own experience, what I've gathered over the years. But I think the bill it's based on maybe income. So if you fall within under a certain threshold, most services are free. And then if you earn more and if you've got medical aid, then they will charge you. I don't know, right? I'm usually way below the threshold. So like for most services, from what I know, most services are like basic services are free. Definitely childcare, like immunization, like antenatal appointments, reproductive health, things like that. I've never been charged for that, but I have given birth twice in this country, and I did receive bills for that, right? And the money was really low, definitely not as much as I would have paid for in the private sector. So I think that's why they would ask those questions. If you know more about that and you think I'm wrong and stuff like that, it's fine, let us know in the comment. This is supposed to be more like an informational video, so I don't know it all. I'm just talking from my own experiences. So anyway, so now that you have your things ready, right, now you just need to know that the average waiting time, is about 3 hours per queue, right? So you might be standing in a queue just to get your file, or just to be attended for an average. That's a national average, 3 hours. Usually it's not so long, but it can be in some instances. So just know that you will wait a long time at the public facility. So it's really important that you are prepared. Wear comfortable clothes. In winter, make sure you've got a warm jacket, hospitals, clinics are usually cold. They leave the windows and doors open to let in fresh air, so they're usually very drafty. So make sure you're warm in summer. Make sure you've got cool clothing. Make sure you've got your own water bottle. Some clinics have got water dispensers, others don't. So if you're thirsty, you're gonna have to go outside and buy water, and when they call your name, they miss, you know, like you're skipped, and then wait even longer. So yeah, it's really important to come prepared. And also, yeah, get some food. Like usually, I think some people in the first trimester, they are, you know, they don't feel so well, so you might not eat as much. So if you know, like, okay, I'm not gonna be hungry, you can carry a snack, a banana or something like that. But usually, like in your second and third trimester, you're usually more hungry. So yeah, carry some food, so that, because you're gonna be in there for, you know, at least 3 hours. But usually it's about 4, yeah, 4 to 5, yeah, so it depends. So yeah, carry some food. Make sure you've got, like, your phone is charged. These days people do everything on their phone. If you're a person like me who likes reading books, then carry a book, you know. And the other thing also, you don't have to do this, but I usually think it's wise, always carry your own toilet paper, even if you're not going, like, you know, to the clinic, because, you know, there's nothing as irritating as going to a bathroom and there's no toilet paper. And like for us who are in our second and third trimester, there's pressure on the bladder, so you go to the bathroom a lot. So they usually have it, but if it runs out, sometimes you get there and there isn't any, you know, they haven't yet topped it up. So it's always better just to have it in your bag with you, so that if you go where there, if you find something there, then use it. If you don't, you've got backup in your own bag. Okay, moving on to the third point. So the thing is, you need to make sure that you know that the early bird catches the best worm, or first worm. What is it? The early bird catches the first worm. Yes. So listen, guys, you can't rock up at a public facility at 8 a.m. even if your appointment is 8 a.m. People wake up early, guys. Some people get there even 4 a.m. for an 8 o'clock appointment. So you need to know. I know some people can't get to facilities at because of different things. Maybe they use public transport, and the taxis are not moving just yet, or different things. Like for me, I have to make sure that my kids are at school first, and school opens at a certain time. So even if I want to come earlier, I can't, because I have to make sure the kids are in school first. So I usually get there around 7 is the earliest I can get to a facility, right? But it's actually better that you actually wake up earlier, so that you can you get there earlier, so that you get served faster, right? The later you get there, the later the longer you wait. Okay, so yeah, the next thing that you need to know is that you need to ask, right? When you get there, don't be shy, don't be scared. I know some people are rude, some people are intimidating, and some people are just, you know, but it's really important to ask when you go stand in a queue. Make sure you're standing in the right queue. So many times, guys, let me know if this has ever happened to you. So many times I've stood in a queue, sometimes for as long as an hour or more, only to find out I'm in the wrong queue. You understand? Something which could have been helped by just asking and making sure that, listen, I'm here to do this, is this the right queue? Because you find that there'll be queues for different people. Like if it's a clinic like that caters for all different things, they'll say these are people with appointments, these are people who are sick, these are people with babies and so forth, and you're in the wrong queue. So just always ask as you go to your queue, this is what I want to do, is this the right queue, right? And then it will really save you a lot of time. So this is just the basics, right? Even if you're not pregnant, this is just the basics. Can you believe it? So it's really important that you ask, right? So anyway, this is just the basics. So whether you are pregnant or not, but you just want to go to a particular any health facility, I think these are just relevant points to use. Like these are just the basics that will help you. But you are like me, you know you're pregnant or suspect you're pregnant. Like, okay, I've never actually used a facility, used the public health facility. What do I do? Okay, so you go and then you go early, like we said, and then you tell them I'm pregnant, right? They don't just take your word for it, because sometimes, you know, they just have to make sure. So they'll probably make you take a pregnancy test, and then when you confirm that you're pregnant, and then they will ask you to book an appointment so that you can register so that you can actually do your first antenatal appointment. So this antenatal appointment is longer than the usual, than the upcoming ones that you'll have, because they ask a lot of information and so forth. So usually they won't do it in the same day like you do your pregnancy test. That one is just to make sure, maybe like you do your pregnancy test, you open a folder if you don't have, right? So anyway, you do the test, you come back for your first official appointment. It depends on the facility, but this is how it has gone the 3 times that I've gone, right? So what they'll do is they'll do a series of tests, right? So first of all, they will take like your urine samples, right? So depending on the place, I'll say depending because I've used different facilities and they've done different things. When they do the urine test, like they always have to see how much protein is in there, right? This is something they do every time, not just on the first appointment. So sometimes they've got these little beakers, right? I'll try to do an insert, but yeah, they'll have a little beaker that you can actually pee in. How difficult is that? Guys? But other facilities, they say no, you actually bring your own container. Guys, if you are in South Africa or Africa, like purity, right? They'll say bring that purity container, right? And they'll either say bring it with you, without the other say bring it from home. They want that first one when you woke up, because that's got all the I don't know, information and whatever. So I've had like previously whereby I would pee at home, put it in my bag, and go with it all the way to the clinic and have it for hours. I know, guys. Hey, but that's the public system for you. So anyway, you either bring your own container or they provide. But either way, you're gonna do the urine test. Then they take your like a HB levels. It's usually just like a prick. They take a drop of blood and then just see how high is your HB levels, right? How much I guess iron is in your blood and so forth. And then they take your weight, they take your height, temperature, they take your blood pressure, right? They do like your HIV test, blood samples. So they actually take some blood samples, like 2 vials of blood. I'm not so sure what they do that for, but I know that's what they do like on the first appointment. I actually need to ask. And then they'll ask you all that information, like how old no, not how old you are, like how far along do you think you are. So they'll usually use the dates, and then they'll also measure your belly to see how big your womb is, right? And then they'll probably book you for a scan, right, as well. And then also they'll ask like your previous history. How many pregnancies have you had? Have you carried all of them to full term, and stuff like that? Do you have any complications with any of your pregnancies? So this is all the information that they'll ask, right? So the thing is, guys, when you actually see the doctor, you wait in these queues, right? Like 30 minutes to use the bathroom, to do the urine test, 30 minutes to get your prick, like to get your blood taken and so forth. And usually you only spend like 5 to 10 minutes with an actual medical practitioner. It's either a nurse or a doctor, right? So can you imagine? You spend hours, like 5 hours, like from the time you wake up, getting ready and so forth, and do all those things, only to just spend 5 hours with them. But hey, guys, come again?
5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes, the video.
No. You spend 5 hours so that you can spend 5 minutes with a doctor.
Oh, yes.
5 hours with a doctor.
Yes, so that you can... So you spend all that time so that you can spend sometimes 2 to 5 minutes with the dog. Okay, maybe not 2 minutes, but 5 minutes, And yeah, but that's the way it is. So basically, that's what happens in your first appointment, right? They do all these things. So it's usually longer than the usual. And then after that, what they'll usually do is then they'll give you a month-to-month appointment. So you don't go every week, you go every month, right? I think the earlier you go, the longer the period between your next appointment. They can say 6 weeks if you go like in your first trimester. But then unless if you've got complications, so if you've already have like issues and whatnot, then there'll be a shorter period between the appointments. So guys, just lastly, I know this has been a bit of a long video, but just lastly, just some key things that you need to know. So ordinarily you can give birth at a day clinic, right, which is the ones that you'll find in your local residential area, right? But what I found that is that if you've got a high risk pregnancy, they'll refer you to a bigger facility, usually like a proper hospital, right? So high risk is anything from like if you're over 35, if you've had twins before, if you've had a C-section, if you've got hypertension, or you had like gestational diabetes before and things like that. So anything that might be a little bit tricky, or something that was like you almost died before giving birth and stuff like that, they'll refer you to a bigger facility so that you get the best care, right? So but usually you go by referral. So if you don't just go straight to the hospital, first go to a clinic. I think if there are no complications, it's much better to just go there anyway. So the second thing is you also get one ultrasound scan. One, they even say so, you get one scan and you're not allowed to ask for the gender. Like for us, we just take it for granted that the baby is okay, right? Obviously if it's but people just want to know, like, what is the baby a boy or a girl, so now it depends on like the place where you are. But what they will do is that the earlier you book, the sooner you have your scan. And if you have it soon, like before 16 weeks or 14 weeks or something like that, you can't really see the gender. So some people also just delay to go because they don't want to have their scan earlier, right? But also some facilities will just say no, they'll book you for a scan only after 20 weeks, because I think that's the best time to see, right? So yeah, it really just depends. But yeah, just so you know that you only get one scan. Those who get multiples is because there are some issues, right? They've seen something, or maybe you are a high risk pregnancy. They just want to make sure that the baby is okay. But you get one scan, and technically they are not there to tell you the gender. And then the other thing is that yeah, you may get tested for gestational diabetes. So this is my fourth pregnancy, but this is actually the first time I've been tested for gestational diabetes. So I actually don't know why the previous times they didn't, right? But I think it might be like the clinic I'm now attending is actually an antenatal clinic specifically for high risk pregnancy. So it's a public one, but it's for high risk pregnancy. So maybe they will do that if you've got some sort of a high risk, because the other times I never got tested. Gestational diabetes is when you see, I'll include a clip, is whereby they make you drink glucose and they make you fast for like 8 hours prior, and then they take your blood and then you drink glucose, and then you have to stay another 2 hours without eating, and then they take your blood again, and then only you can eat. So yeah, so you might get tested. So it depends, right? Don't just take it for granted. But I think yeah, if you know why they don't do it all the time, just hit me in the comments. But this was only in my fourth pregnancy did I actually know that you get tested for gestational diabetes. And then also, like in the public facilities, like you might get admitted for short periods of time if you have complications. Like for me, I struggled with this pregnancy and the previous one with low iron, right? So yeah, guys, the supplements that they give you are really strong, but they make you so sick. So I was using an alternative, but I didn't know that it didn't have enough iron content. So it was easier on my system, but it didn't have enough iron content, right? Which is really important for you to know, that if you're not going to take the free ones that they give you with the right recommended dosage of iron supplement, then it's really important that you get an alternative, but go to the pharmacy and say, I needed to have this particular amount of iron. So anyway, I ended up having to have an iron transfusion, but yeah, and it seems to have helped. And yeah, and now I'm just taking them, even though they make me still feel woozy. I just thought, you know what, I don't want to have to endanger myself. I can take a little bit of sickness as long as I have enough iron content and the baby is fine. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is a long one, but thank you so much for your support. If you've watched up until this point, please guys, let me know in the comments your experiences wherever you are from. Let me know if you're in Canada, if you're in Joburg, if you're in Zimbabwe, if you're wherever you are, like how they actually do, how does the public or even just the health system work depending on people's income streams. I just want to know, and I hope you found this video informative. So please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Okay, my phone just suddenly switched off, and I was actually filming at sunset, so if the lighting is changed, that's because the sun has been disappearing. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.